Female WWE superstar dethrones Roman Reigns. How does Dominik Mysterio really feel about his father? Randy Orton proud of Dominik Mysterio. Randy Orton versus Rhea Ripley. Triple H forced to turn Bobby Lashley babyface. Former World Heavyweight Champion to return and help Drew McIntyre dethrone Seth Rollins. New Bloodline member to debut on WWE Smackdown and go after Logan Paul. Randy Orton faces Roman Reigns. Let's jump right into it. How does Dominik Mysterio really feel about his father? In modern-day wrestling, the rivalry between Dominik Mysterio and Rey Mysterio is one of the biggest. While Dominik began his WWE career under the guidance of his father Rey, things changed last year when the 26-year-old turned heel and joined the Judgment Day. This decision by Dominik Mysterio led to a rivalry between him and his father, which set a match at WrestleMania 39. At the event, Dom was reminded of why Rey is his father, as the latter launched a vicious beating and registered a victory over the Judgment Day member. Despite the match being done, the rivalry between the duo hasn't settled. Even today, Dominik holds a grudge against Rey Mysterio. A glimpse of the same was seen when Logan Paul recently shared a story about Dom on an episode of the Impulsive podcast. The United States champion revealed, "I said to Dom backstage, I was like, your dad's a legend man." He goes, "Yaff, that guy." This story, narrated by Paul, involves strong words from the side of Dominik Mysterio. However, these words are him simply trying to stay in character. Outside of the storyline, Dom walked to have great respect for everything Rey Mysterio has achieved in WWE. Since making his in-ring debut in 2020, Dominik Mysterio has come a long way in his career. While Dirty Dom received criticism early in his career, he answered his doubters with amazing performances and by winning the NXT North American Championship. Recently, Dominik wrestled Randy Orton on Raw after the latter returned to WWE for the first time since May 2022 at Survivor Series. While Dom might not have bested the match, he won the admiration of the Viper. During an episode of the Impulsive podcast, Orton detailed wrestling the Judgment Day member. "I wrestled Dominik Mysterio last Friday night. It was such a pleasure to be out there with him. I am so proud of Dom as well," said Orton. Earning Randy Orton's respect will certainly be a big deal for Dominik. Orton is widely regarded as the greatest wrestler of all time. Hence, if Dom ever needs to look for inspiration outside of his father, the Apex Predator could be the perfect role model. It will be interesting to see if Dominik and Randy face each other again. Randy Orton on his match against Logan Paul. WWE superstar Randy Orton recently spoke about discussing and putting matches together before the actual encounter. The Apex Predator returned to the Stanford-based company at Survivor Series 2023 after spending close to 2 years on the sidelines after back surgery. He returned as the 5th member of Team Cody Rhodes in the men's War Games match and helped the baby faces win the brutal match against the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre. Randy spoke with Logan Paul this week on the latter's Impulsive podcast. He mentioned that earlier, the star would rarely discuss spots that were part of matches. He felt that it was hard to enjoy the moment if all the details were too laid out. "It's weird talking about putting matches together. Back in the day, we would never be sitting here talking to each other, talking about how we puts together. But when you have so many things you're thinking about ahead of time, like all those things with Rey Mysterio, you had them burned in, it's hard to kind of being in the moment," Randy Orton said. Randy also explained to the current United States champion how he would work a match on the fly. He mentioned that his way of working helped him create moments by taking cues from the emotions of the fans. "If you go out there, if you and me went out there, and we had nothing laid out except for kind of, a beginning, a middle, and an end, there'd be a lot of gaps to fill. There'd be plenty of time to be in the moment. For me, not having all these spots to remember, it gives you the ability to be in the moment, to be out there and actually listen to the people," Randy Orton said. This past Friday, Randy Orton made it clear that there is still some unfinished business between him and the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso launched a 2-on-1 attack on him, but the Viper repelled them both with some help from LA Knight. Later, Randy signed the contract to become a member of the Smackdown roster. It will be interesting to see if this tussle with the Bloodline leads the legend killer to Roman Reigns. Are you excited to see Randy Orton back in WWE? Randy Orton versus Rhea Ripley. Will WWE ever book this dream match? Randy Orton garnered the nickname the Legend Killer for a reason. The same can be said for Rhea Ripley as the Eradicator. The former can strike anyone and everyone regardless of their gender, while the latter dominates everybody in her path. Due to their complementing characters, they became a dream match for many fans. While intergender matches have occurred in WWE, they're not common, especially when they're singles matches. However, Rhea Ripley participated in one against Akira Tozawa a year ago where she won. She also got involved with several male stars as part of her alliance with the Judgment Day. Meanwhile, Randy Orton doesn't hesitate to deliver an RKO to anybody. Still, it's unlikely that they will have a full-blown match anytime soon. Although the Stanford-based promotion has been more lenient with its actions despite the younger audience, it's still something they might have to think long and hard about. Randy has built his character for over 2 decades, and they could worry about what a defeat and even victory could do to his legacy. It's more likely that both stars will also get physical in some segment, much like with Randy RKOing Beth Phoenix as part of his feud with Edge, also known as Adam Copeland, and when when Orton code Nia Jax in the Men's Royal Rumble. If they do end up having a match, it will most likely involve another star. This was the case when Randy Orton faced Alexa Bliss in 2021, wherein the Fiend appeared after other supernatural occurrences in the match. In an exclusive interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling, the Eradicator named Randy as one of the stars she wanted to come face-to-face with. However, it looks like she's not worried about the outcome. Rhea Ripley also noted that the men's division won't hit her back or retaliate when she gets physical with them. Not because she's a girl, but because they choose not to and know Mamie is always on top. The Viper spoiled Damian Priest's attempts to cash in his Money in the Bank contract at Survivor Series due to his return. Rhea confronted Orton on Raw and warned him about his action. Fans chanted for Randy to deliver an RKO, but he didn't do it. As per the Smackdown star's father and wrestling legend Bob Orton Jr., he also thought that his son would get physical with Rhea, but didn't do it as he was a gentleman. It would be interesting to see what will happen between the Viper and the Eradicator soon. Triple H forced to turn Bobby Lashley babyface. In the Triple A-led era, WWE has become the breeding ground for several of the company's most prominent heels. However, one prominent name could transform as overwhelming fan support may drive the game to turn him into a babyface. The star in question is Bobby Lashley. The former world champion recently aligned himself with the Street Profits. Although the group is portrayed as heel, all three members are warmly embraced and cheered by the spectators present at the event. Despite WWE's efforts to portray Bobby Lashley as a villainous character, fans' reactions and approval of his portrayal have not corresponded to the desired storyline so far. Fans have come together to show their unwavering support for Lashley. The audience has been refusing to boo Lashley and instead wholeheartedly applauded his performance on Smackdown last week. The genuine support from fans could impact the growth of these characters in the future, and it may force Triple H to reassess the strategies for Lashley and the Street Profits. This could potentially result in a shift towards portraying them as baby faces. Perhaps the cerebral assassin could change his mind about the group and portray them as baby faces. Only time will tell if they switch characters or remain a heel group. For now, it's just speculation. Let's wait and see what happens next. Bobby Lashley spoke on the German Suplex Talk podcast in 2018, where he discussed his move from WWE to Impact Wrestling and subsequent re-signing with WWE. Lashley revealed a conversation he had with the WWE Chief Content Officer. This interview took place before Lashley decided to rejoin WWE after an 8-year sabbatical. "He knew my run was over," Lashley said. "You know when some people leave, you can see how some people mature. When Triple H saw me, he was like, 'D, you look almost better than you did when you were here before,'" Lashley said. He said there's a tremendous amount of money to be made, and we'd love to see you return. You think Triple H will be forced to turn Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits into babyfaces? Former World Heavyweight Champion to return and help Drew McIntyre dethrone Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre once again assaulted Jey Uso in the latest episode of WWE Raw, immediately following his World Heavyweight Championship clash with Seth Rollins. Adding to this, the Scottish Warrior had previously set his sights on the Visionary last week on the red brand, delivering a resounding Glasgow kiss. Having unequivocally expressed his desire for a rematch against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, McIntyre might find an unforeseen ally in Sheamus during this potential upcoming title bout. For those who may not be aware, Sheamus is currently on hiatus due to a shoulder injury sustained earlier this year. Regarding his anticipated return to the Stamford-based promotion, the Celtic Warrior is expected to return on the December 11, 2023 edition of Monday Night Raw, likely participating in a non-televised match. Additionally, Sheamus is advertised for the December 15, 2023 edition of Smackdown, scheduled to take place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. On that very date, Roman Reigns is also set to make his highly anticipated return, potentially marking the beginning of a new feud with Randy Orton. Despite belonging to different brands, this potential scenario might unfold due to the prospect of trade involving Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Since the former Impact Wrestling star assumed the role of SmackDown general manager, both Pearce and Aldis have collaborated on numerous occasions. For instance, the trade that saw Kevin Owens moving to the blue brand in exchange for Jey Uso joining Monday Night Raw. Moreover, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus share a genuine bond of friendship, having previously teamed up and competed against each other on several occasions. The last time the Celtic Warrior appeared on SmackDown television, he portrayed the character of a babyface star. However, this potential alignment suggests a significant heel turn for him once again within the company. It's also noteworthy that Drew McIntyre has yet to join Judgment Day, increasing the likelihood of this possibility. Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins have been locked in a feud on the red brand over the past few months. The Scottish Warrior even faced Rollins in a world title match at Crown Jewel 2023. Despite a commendable effort, McIntyre fell short of victory as the Visionary cleanly retained his title. Post this defeat, McIntyre took a heel turn on the Fallout edition of Crown Jewel. He viciously attacked Jey Uso, costing him and Cody Rhodes the undisputed WWE Tag Team title match against the Judgment Day. Additionally, Rollins and McIntyre collided in a Survivor Series War Games match this year, with the Visionaries team emerging victorious. As the coming months unfold, it will be intriguing to to witness how the dynamics between McIntyre and Rollins evolve, especially with McIntyre still in pursuit of the coveted World Heavyweight Championship. New Bloodline member to debut on WWE Smackdown and go after Logan Paul. WWE Smackdown could have a new member added to the brand this Friday, and no, we aren't talking about CM Punk. This superstar could be the newest member of the Bloodline. Last week on WWE Smackdown, the new United States champion, Logan Paul, showed up on the blue brand for the first time since his win at Crown Jewel Premium Live event. The Maverick announced there would be a United States Championship tournament to determine his next challenger. The tournament currently consists of Santos Escobar, Bobby Lashley, Karrion Kross, Dragon Lee, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, Kevin Owens, and one talent from NXT. While the NXT talent is still unknown, WWE could use this opportunity to call up a new member for the Bloodline. On the season premiere of NXT a few months ago, Paul Heyman was seen backstage talking to Braun Breaker. The Wiseman was later in his corner that night as well. This could be a long-term plan made by Heyman. The special counsel to the Tribal Chief could now use this tournament as the perfect timing to bring Breaker into the frame. Roman Reigns also had a fierce feud with Logan Paul last year, leading to an intense match at Crown Jewel 2022. Seeing Paul lose his US Championship will definitely give the Tribal Chief additional happiness. While on screen this may look like a way to give Breaker a good debut, but Heyman could have another trick up his sleeve. At this moment in time, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and almost all of WWE want the blood of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. The Wiseman could very well be preparing for the storm that could hit them soon, and bringing in a powerhouse like Breaker could help them level it. CM Punk returns to WWE Smackdown this Friday after almost a decade. However, this is not the return we are talking about. This week's WWE Smackdown could reportedly see a phenomenal superstar return to the ring. A few months ago, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso attacked AJ Styles backstage and took him out for good. Since then, we have had no clue about the former WWE champion's condition or any other updates on him. However, Dave Meltzer reported on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio that Styles could return to TV this Friday. If AJ Styles returns to WWE Smackdown this week, the pile of superstars wanting a piece of the Bloodline will just get bigger and bigger. If CM Punk joins the mix, then Roman Reigns has huge problems on his hands. Randy Orton faces Roman Reigns. A wrestling veteran believes Randy Orton should face Roman Reigns before retiring from WWE. The veteran in question is Disco Inferno. After nearly a year and a half of absence, the Viper returned to the WWE ring at the Survivor Series War Games Premium Live event. On the following episode of Raw, he disclosed that his main goal was to get revenge on the Bloodline. He later appeared on SmackDown and was attacked by the Bloodline before being saved by LA Knight. Orton then delivered an RKO to Jimmy Uso before signing an exclusive contract with SmackDown. The 14-time world champion then told Paul Heyman to inform Roman Reigns that Daddy's back. Speaking on Keeping It 100, Disco Inferno discussed how Orton should be booked. He claimed the Viper should square off against Reigns before retiring. I would book him against Roman. Like, Roman needs big name. And you know, right now Randy Orton is one of the bigger names he hasn't had a match against in the Tribal Chief era. You know, if Orton, the time is ticking on his career, you need to get that done. You know, like ASAP, he said. In 2009, Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble match. He did the same 8 years later. Speaking on his Click This podcast, Kevin Nash suggested the Viper should win the upcoming men's Royal Rumble match for a third time. The Hall of Famer claimed the 43-year-old could go after undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, defeat him, and become a 15-time world champion. Now with Randy back, I have Randy winning the Rumble and going to Roman. Flair's 16, so Orton wins this. He's one shy of tying Flair. I think Cena's 16 also, right? So make that part of the storyline. Randy did state that he was going to come back and he wanted to do 10 more years, he said. Female WWE superstar dethrones Roman Reigns. The WWE Universe recently reacted to a female superstar body slamming the Alpha Academy's Otis on the latest episode of NXT. The name in question is Lash Legend. On this week's edition of WWE's White and Gold show, Otis, Chad Gable, and Maxine Dupri locked horns with the Metaphor, Oro Mensa, Legend, and Known Dar. It was a back and forth match as all the wrestlers showcased great in-ring action. During the bout, Lash Legend displayed incredible strength by picking up the 330-pound Otis and performing a perfect body slam. WWE's Twitter handle posted a snippet from the match where Legend can be seen performing the move on the Alpha Academy member. It caught fans' attention, and they started commenting. Some couldn't believe the strength shown by the female star, and others inquired about her diet. One fan hilariously said she should dethrone Roman Reigns as the undisputed Universal Champion. Many Twitter users thought it was insane that Lash Legend managed to pick up Otis and perform the maneuver perfectly. Otis' Alpha Academy teammate, Chad Gable, recently shared a heartfelt message on Instagram after receiving a gift from his wife for the Shack, his man cave and personal personal gym at his house. Master Gable wrote that even if he had received a Porsche or a Lamborghini, he wouldn't have had this big of a smile on his face. Pro tip, find yourself a gal that gets you, like my incredible wife gets me. Came home off the road today to this lovely piece for the shack. One of those things I've been talking about / wanting forever, but never pulled the trigger for whatever reason. I hate being dramatic, but she could have had a Porsche or Lamborghini waiting for me in the driveway as a surprise, and I wouldn't have had as big of a smile on my face as I did when she showed me this. I'm a lucky man. Is the shack finally complete? WB fans want to see the Alpha Academy booked in better storylines and possibly win gold soon. It remains to be seen what the Stanford-based promotion has planned for them. What did you think about Lash legend body slamming Otis on WWE NXT? Let us know in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing